All right, so we are going to tidy up this section with social learning theory. So, the basic idea behind social learning theory is that we learn things without gaining direct reinforcement. So, I'm sure as you walked through and learned about that section, you were thinking, I've learned things, but I didn't always get reinforcement. So, how did I learn that? Let's talk about it. So, essentially, Bandura proposed that we could learn from simply observing other people, and we could learn more than just imitating their behavior. We actually could learn concepts and ideas in addition to being able to imitate their behavior. So, in order for that to happen, we had to be attending to the behavior. We had to be able to retain or remember the information over time. We had to be able to physically reproduce the behavior ourselves, and we had to have the motivation to do those or engage in that. So, some other things that would affect the likelihood of you having that motivation or wanting to engage in that behavior is vicarious reinforcement or vicarious punishment. Vicarious reinforcement means that we watch the model get reinforcement or get reward, and then we are more likely to engage in that behavior ourselves. So if we watch other folks and they get reinforcement for it, we'll be more likely to do it. Vicarious punishment is very similar. This is where we see someone being punished for the behavior, then we ourselves are less likely to engage in that behavior if we know it will be punished. So the most famous experiment, which you also have a video of this on the module section, so you can kind of watch it and look over it yourself. It doesn't explain in detail. There are lots of variations of this experiment, which I encourage you to read about in your book. But the basic idea, they showed very young children, so kindergartners, a Bobo doll, and the Bobo doll is like kind of like a clown. And you can see this in the video. I'll scroll down to the picture. This is what it looks like. And the adult was behaving aggressively. The adult actually did like 4 different types of behaviors, which you can see in the video, and you can also see down here in the squares. And they had multiple different scenarios. And in some scenarios, the adult was punished, praised, or ignored. And then the children were sometimes frustrated before entering the room and sometimes not. And then they were given the opportunity to play with this bubble doll, particularly these frustrated children. But in general, if the child saw the adult being praised or ignored, they were much more likely to imitate that aggressive behavior. If they saw the adult being punished, they were much less likely to imitate that, suggesting that they could get vicarious, or they could get experiences by not directly experiencing them themselves. So they could get that vicarious punishment or reinforcement, and they would also easily imitate adult behavior in very similar contexts. So this idea that children could learn and understand adult behavior and behave in a similar way. And if you've ever had toddlers and allowed them to watch certain TV shows, you might know this already. But anyway, that is the end of this section, and I will see y'all next week.